Hi there, this is Vinny from Project Frugal. In this video we're going to create a budget within Microsoft Excel. I'm going to teach you some really easy to use formulas. We're also going to go through some assets and liabilities, and I'm going to show you the way that you can calculate these numbers and calculate your net worth. Stay tuned for more. If you want to obtain wealth, you're going to have a budget. There's no two ways about it. So follow along with me. We'll create a simple one and we'll take you through it.
Okay, so we've opened up Excel, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to chuck some stuff in the corner. We'll call this budget. First of all, we're going to list our liabilities. And these liabilities, for example, you might have rent. Obviously you're going to have food. Let's say electricity. Maybe insurance. Warrant of fitness for your car to get it certified. Maybe car registration. Toggles. Oops. Petrol. Maybe you could have anything you want here. You could have car maintenance. You could have rubbish collection. Anything that you can think of that are common things that you would have to pay for. So that's just a small list. There's plenty of other things. You can go as detailed as you want to. So next we're going to have one-off bills. And let's just say we've got I don't know, let's say a tax bill. That'll do. And then next we want to do our income. We'll call it weekly income. Doesn't matter if you get paid, I'll show you that shortly. If you get paid fortnightly, monthly, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so, and also going to include, we'll call that salary down there. And we're also going to have a kind of like a totals column down here. Somewhere down there. Right, so what I like to do is I like to colour these things. Just makes it stand out a bit better, makes it look a bit more interesting, because let's face it, it's not that exciting, is it? But we'll put some colours on this. These will do. We'll move it across, and we're going to put some columns in here as well. We're going to call this one balance. So this might be for things that you already owe money on. Let's put another row in here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. We'll call this one, let's say, personal loan. And let's say on the personal loan you owe $7,000. And what we're also going to do is we're just going to highlight this column, click on the $sign, and just to make it dollars or pounds or whatever your currency is. Right, we're going to put in here, we're going to put payment date. We're going to put amount. We're going to put weekly average. And we're going to put yearly total. Okay, so we'll just make all that the same. Click on here, we're going to expand that a bit. Okay, so let's just say, for argument's sake, that your rent doesn't have a balance because it's just a bill that goes out all the time. Let's say you pay your rent fortnightly, and let's say you pay $400 a week. So let's say you pay $800 a fortnight. So with these other columns here, I'm just gonna turn those into dollars as well. Right, so somehow we have to make a calculation and we need to break it, the fortnightly amount of $800 into a weekly amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to go equals, and we're going to go equals D4, which is the amount, divided by 2, gives us $400. In the yearly column, we're going to add up the total of all of this stuff, so we're just going to simply go equals E4 times, so little asterisks, 52. So that gives us a total there. Put another row in here, and we'll call this one totals, so we can work out what we've got here. We'll colour that one orange as well. Coming together nicely so far. Right, so food. Let's say you buy your food weekly. Let's say you spend $200 a week on food. So we need to pull this out a couple of times. There we go. Okay, that'll do. And we'll center all of this. There we go, that's a bit better. And do that same thing with that. Put it into dollars. And so that one is going to be equals D5. What we can do for all of these, we can just, oh no, we're not going to do that yet. We can go equals DE5 times 52. So we're spending $10,000, 400 a year on food. Electricity, this is probably going to be monthly. Let's say your average power bill, doesn't have to be exact, we're going to guesstimate some of these things. Let's say you spend $240 a month on electricity and maybe gas, maybe it's a dual combined bill. So here we're going to go equals D6, and to work out the monthly amount we put some brackets here. So we're going to go D6 times 12, because we're working out the monthly amount times 12 to make up a year, and then we're going to divide that by 52, which will give us a weekly average, $55.38, and in this column equals E6 times 52 will give us a yearly amount for power. Pretty easy. Keep on going. Insurance, annual. Right, so for this I pay roughly around $1,700, so I'm just going to chuck this in here, $1,700. Weekly amount there will be equals D7 divided by 52 equals E7 times 52. Gives us the same amount as that column there. We're just making it simple. In fact, what we can do with this column here, we can just basically drag this down to here, and it will essentially populate any of these that we put in. So warrant of fitness for my car, so it's legal on the road. That's annual, and I think it's, I don't know, maybe $70 now. Keeps on getting, seems to be going up every year. Weekly average for that equals D8, because it hasn't changed. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, that didn't work, did it? So we'll just change that directly to, because it's annual. Oh no, it does work. Problem is I didn't have the correct formula there. So that one equals D8 divided by 52. So it's $1.35 a week on average. Car registration, I'm just going to put annual there, it's $120. And that one is equals D9 divided by 52. So $120 a year for that. Toll calls, let's say that's part of the monthly above and beyond the phone bill. In fact, we're just going to call this phone bill, phone internet. You might have these as separate columns. I'm going to go, that's let's say $70 per month. So again, we're going to go equals D brackets, D10 times 12 to get a yearly amount divided by 52. And so we're spending $840 roughly on that. Petrol is probably going to be weekly. Let's say $50 a week equals D11. Yep, $2,600 a year roughly. Okay, looks like it's we've got to change that to accountancy, I think. Doesn't like that one. Accountancy, accounting. Okay, and rubbish, it might be annual. I'm going to say, I don't know, $230. I'll just change some of these as I go. And we're going to go equals D12 divided by 52. And once you start getting the hang of this, it goes faster and faster. Personal loan, which we pay fortnightly. And even though the balance here says $7,000, what we do when we update the budget, we basically change the number when you go and check it. You might, you know, if you pay $500 off, that'll drop it down to $6,500, and you'll just keep adjusting it on this budget. Just gives you a better idea of what you owe. So here we're going to say we pay let's say $100 a fortnight, and that will be equals D13 divided by 2 to get a weekly amount, $2,600 a year. Well, that's going to take at least at least probably 3 years to pay that one off. No good. So tax bill, again, we might just put in here that we've got a tax bill of, let's say, $1,400. And I'm just going to pull this out. This might be a one-off bill. So we're just going to make that the same color there. I'm just going to put one off in here. And right, so down to our income. So let's say we get paid fortnightly, which I do. And we're going to say I earn, in fact, before we do that, we'll go back into this totals column here, and we're going to go, what is the total amount? So here's another formula, equals sum, brackets. So we want to go from column E4, put a colon in, down to column E13, and another bracket, and then hit enter, and you can see it's highlighted that. There's other ways to do this, but this is just what I normally do. So this one here equals sum. This is now column F4 colon F13, and hit enter. Right, so expenses per year are $42,240 according to this budget. I'm paying a lot of money in rent there. So what we'll do is we are going to say that, let's, for argument's sake, we'll say that we earn $1,000. Let's say we earn $2,000 per fortnight. $2,000 fortnightly, and we're going to drop this amount here, which is still going to be the fortnightly amount. We'll take that out of there, cut that out there, we'll paste that there, plonk that there. So we get paid fortnightly, we get $2,000 a month. Again, let's drop that off there. So the weekly average for that would be equals D21 divided by 2. And the yearly total would be equals E21 times 52. Okay, so we're assuming in this case that we get paid $52,000, and this will be after tax, which is probably the easiest way. Let's say we've got a side hustle, so it could be anything. It could be selling something on eBay or TradeMe or any other online type site. It could be delivering newspapers, it could be a part-time job, it could be delivering pizza, it could be whatever you think, whatever you want. You don't have to put this in, obviously. So let's say we've got a pizza delivery part-time job that we do. Maybe we get paid weekly, and maybe we get $50, say, a week. So we're going to go equals D22. We're going to go equals E22 times 52 to get our annual amount. We've got a totals column here. We're going to use that for our income. And again, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pull this out just so it kind of wraps it up nicely. And we are going to, that's the amount, that's the weekly amount, so we really only need these two columns here. So the weekly average equals sum E21 to E22, and that one we could either do equals that E23 times 52, or we could do the sum of this one. It's either or, so we'll do equals sum F21 to F22. Okay, so we've got that there, so that's cool. We'll just pull this one up a little bit maybe. No, we won't. We'll put total one-off bills, and we'll keep the total here. Pull that across, drag that across, plonk that in a pretty blue color, and then we're going to go again equals sum. Just going to try this. Equals sum B17 to B17. Okay, that works. So basically, if you were to have another one-off bill, you could insert a row, and you might have to clean that up with no fill. And you could put another thing in here, such as I don't know, haircut that you haven't paid for or something. Let's say $20. One off. And okay, that hasn't actually done that, but we're going to have to modify this. We'll call it B17 to B18, which will calculate both of those. Cool, so we've added both of those in. Right, so the next thing we want to look at is assets. Now, you could include your house if you've got a house that you've paid off or that you're paying off. You could hypothetically guesstimate the value of your house. And if that's the case, you might have a mortgage up in the liabilities column up the top here. But for this example, we're presuming that we don't own a house. You could add cars in here, but generally I don't, because the value of cars drops so quickly, it's really not worth doing that. But what we will do, we'll include things in here, such as bank account. You might have some investments, so I use a program called investment program Sharesies in New Zealand. I've also got one called Invest Now, which I've got some money in. I've got an emergency fund with another bank, but we're just going to go, right, so we're also going to add cash, whatever you've got in your purse or wallet. You might have an envelope full of cash somewhere around the house. I did have it, but I've spent it all. Emergency, well, let's call it emergency money or emergency fund. Always handy to have cash. So again, we're going to give this a nice pretty colour. Let's go and pick something we haven't used before. That one will do. Okay, so this one is a bit different. So we'll just call this value. Another thing I like to do is I like to make these stand out a bit more, so we'll bold these. We'll also center them. It can be bolded. Entirely up to you how you want this to look, but this is just giving you an idea of what you could be doing. So we'll tidy that up a little bit. Center these up, and that one as well. Actually, that probably looks bad. I might just put that one back. And maybe that one, I don't know, that'll do. Okay, so let's say I've got, again, I'm going to change this column here to accounting, and we'll say we've got $856 in the bank. We'll say we've got $2,000 worth of shares, $1,000 worth of invest now. We'll say we've got $50 worth of cash on us, and maybe $100 stashed away somewhere. In fact, we're going to make this bank account a lot better than that. $1,856, and we're gonna go. We're rich. We've got $20,000 worth of shares. So again, we're going to put another totals column in here, and this is just for the assets. Pull it across. Click on there, and equals sum brackets. Whoops, don't click on that. Sum brackets, column B, 27 to. Now I could drag this down, which will pick up the rest of these to B31. No, okay, it doesn't. Bad technique there. Okay. Oh, it would if I took that out. Okay. Right, so we're saying we've got $23,006 worth of assets. Okay, so we'll change this bit here. We're going to call this total assets instead. We've got our total liabilities, and we've got our net worth. Okay, so our total liabilities, which was the orange one. Now you don't have to do it like this, you can do it any way you want. This is just the way I do it, like I've said before. And we're going to have our total net worth. I'm going to make this one yellow. And we'll make these two fields here, we'll turn that into accounting. So our total liabilities are everything in this column here, which we will populate. So we're going to go equals sum B4 to B13, $7,000 plus our one-off bills. So in order to add those all up, what we can do is we've got B14, we're going to go equals B14 plus total of our one-off bills, B19, $8,420, which is correct. And we will calculate our net worth. So our net worth is going to be our assets minus our liabilities. So that's going to equal B32 minus B33. So we've got a net worth of $14,586. Great, you say. Also, what we can do, we're going to look at how much money we've got left over. So we'll just trim that off. Go no fill on there. we're going to go over budget per week, and we'll put a column here. It's a bit nasty over there, so we'll cut that and we'll just plonk it over here a bit more. And what we're looking at here is the amount we've got left over, essentially, or haven't if we've got a bad budget. So what we want to do here is we want to, it's going to equal something. So our yearly income, well, there's a couple of ways of doing this. Probably the easiest way is we can grab the weekly income that we've got, which is E24 minus our liabilities, which is E14. Okay, so we've got $237.69 left over a week, which is good. It's better than being negative. So now with this budget we know where we're at. If we just buy the basic things, rent, food, electricity, insurance, etc, etc, petrol, rubbish, personal loan that we have to pay off, which we shouldn't have got the personal loan, but we did, then we would have $237.69. So the beauty of doing it in Excel is if, let's say, we've paid off the loan, we could hypothetically delete this column and it should update all these other figures automatically, but we're not going to do that. We'll do another example. So what I normally do is I start off the month, so we're in the month of January, so I'm going to say that 01/02/21. We're going to start on the 1st of February for this particular budget, and let's say this is the final result as of the 1st of February 2021. What I do is I just copy all this, copy that, open a new sheet, paste it in here, expand out the rows. So this one we will rename. We will call this 01/03/21. So this is basically for the next month. Things will have changed. So for example, let's say you might have paid off a couple of $100 off your loan, so maybe that's gone down to that much. What else might have changed? Maybe you paid your haircut off, so let's get rid of that. Right, so that's automatically updated those numbers. We could just insert another row if you wanted to put something back in. Let's say you're doing more pizza delivery, change that to $100 because you decided you want some more income. Look at that, our under/over budget has increased. You might go and check your accounts and you've now only got $900 in your bank account, and some of these things are going to fluctuate quite a bit. You might have, hopefully you haven't touched that. So what we can do now is we can create another tab, and we'll just call this one Summary, and we'll drag this one over to the left. Normally like to have it at the start, and we can go Summary up here, and we can put a date in, and we can put the amount, which will be the net worth and difference. So the first date was the 1st of the 2nd 21. Second one was the 1st of the 3rd 21, and I just carry these columns down for every month. So we go back into this column, we copy our net worth here, go back into the summary, plonk it in here. We have to change that to accounting, this one as well, and probably these two as well. some colour. Make it a little bit more pretty. And expand these fields out. So the second month, our net worth has dropped. So that's not good. We might fudge this so we can have a look at it a bit better. So what we can do here is we can go equals, not on that one, but on this one, and for all subsequent months. So this one's going to be equals B4 minus B3. So we've lost $761 of net worth, which is not ideal. And why have we done that? Because we've probably, we've spent a whole bunch of money there. So this one here, we're going to say we've actually left a bit more money in the bank. Okay, so we'll copy that number there. This is our, let's say, our final result as of the 1st of March 2021 on the day. Go back to the summary, plonk the other number in here. Right, so we've actually made $239 this month, and I like to colour that green, and it just makes it a bit nicer. So what you do is you just carry on with these, change that to accounting, and when you've done your budget for the following month, modified any numbers here because they fluctuate over time. Generally, unfortunately, they seem to go up, not down. You might have quit your pizza job, or you might have got a pay rise, or your investments will have increased. Presumably, you might have $1,200 now on that particular date. We're going to run with that, and we'll go back into the summary, plonk it in here. Right, so now we've got that much. So we can basically follow our net worth every month, and we can start to see trends over time. So my one has been going for 5.5 years, and I've got, I've done basically 5.5 years. I've got 60 odd columns here for representing each month, and I can see the net worth has grown quite substantially over that time. So that's what we do, and once you've done your budget for the month, essentially you just copy it, do the same thing again, looking forward to the next month, which in this case the first of the month. It's always easier to do the first of the month because you can always remember that, and it gives you something to look forward to when you're getting to the next month, and it keeps you regular and focused on what you're doing. So as the month progresses, let's say it's the middle of March, you've already done these two here, but on this one you might be halfway through the month, you just want to have a quick update to see where you're at. These things might not have changed much, that might have dropped to $6,600. You check your bank account, you've now got $2,300.50 in there, and you've got $50 in your wallet. So you can keep a kind of a running total as you're going through the month, and when you get to the 1st of the 4th, you check these things here, and basically add that onto the summary, copy all this page onto the next month, and so on and so forth and so on. So the main beauty of this is you're tracking what you're doing. It's black and white. You're not living in the dark. You know where your money generally is going. You don't have to do it to the cent for each sort of thing that you're doing here. But the important thing is you're tracking what your expenses are, what your bills are. So you're focusing on where things are at financially for you, which can basically just make your decision making a lot easier. And you can see on this budget here we've got $287.69. So if this was my actual budget, potentially what I might be doing with that is trying to pay off that personal loan quicker to avoid extra interest charges, and that would basically, once that was paid off, if we took that out of this as an example, $287, we would now have $337.69 a week left over after our expenses, which, according to the way I operate, I would be saving and investing that money to build that money up and make an income from it.
So there you have it. Pretty easy, pretty long-winded, but hey, you got to do it. So good luck. Don't forget to save that file, and we'll see you in the next video.